On his 24th birthday, Kyle Busch gets a huge present, a win in Richmond. He now becomes the third driver to go back-to-back nationwide and Cup wins on the same weekend here on this three-quarter-mile oval, and he becomes just the second ever birthday winner in NASCAR history. The 50th win in NASCAR's three-top series for this 24-year-old young man, and this driver is absolutely tearing everything up. All series, no matter what he drives, he seems to win. Hello, everybody, and welcome to NASCAR Victory Lane on Speed. I'm John Roberts alongside of Jimmy Spencer and Kenny Wallace, and the question is now, is there any stopping Kyle Busch?
Man, you know, Johnny, what's impressive about Kyle Busch is when he's on, there ain't no catching this guy. We've heard Jeff Gordon say that he's got the most car control that he's ever seen in the sport, and he's very dangerous when his car is on the money like it was tonight, Kenny.
And listen to this. I mean, it is his birthday, so he doesn't tie Cale Yarborough yet because Cale Yarborough has won twice on his birthday, but he's setting records. And something we heard a little bit ago, 24 years old and 50 NASCAR wins in all three touring series, Cup, Nationwide, and Truck. Spence, how would you like to be 24 years old and line up 50 trophies? That's crazy.
That's impressive is what it is.
And he said that he wanted to break his record from last year, which was 21 wins, and he's well on his way.
Well, we tied a record here tonight with cautions, and there was a whole lot of wrecking going on. Let's take a quick look at the highlights. Later on in Victory Lane, we'll have a much more in-depth look at it for you. But as we had Brian Vickers leading us to the green flag, we also had Jeff Gordon on the front row with him. Gordon, a two-time winner at this racetrack before, and one of the best things about this is the fact that we were actually racing tonight because there was rain all around this racetrack, but somebody was smiling on us. The number 11 of Denny Hamlin, Chesterfield, Virginia native, led the most laps, but the last 6 times that Denny Hamlin led the most laps, he didn't win the race. And here goes a spin for Jimmy Johnson. Very rare to see him do that at this racetrack because he had won 3 of the last 4 events coming in to tonight. This is normally a very good racetrack for Kevin Harvick. Blew a rear tire and went for a spin into the outside wall. And this is what no other driver on the racetrack wants to see. The number 18 of Kyle Busch taking the lead, because usually when he does late in the race, this is the result. The checkered flag is first ever here at Richmond International Raceway as he takes a bow, but Kyle has always been great at this racetrack. Almost every time he's run here, he's finished in the top 10, and now he has his victory, and he completes the weekend sweep, winning the nationwide race and the Sprint Cup race as well. So here he is celebrating in Victory Lane once again. And you know what, if anybody's got this celebration dance down by now, it's got to be Kyle Busch, because Kenny, we can't really say it enough. We said it twice. Let's say it 3 times, because in NASCAR's 3 top series, Kyle Busch has won 50 times.
And you know, you can see the youth exuberance just now. He does a backwards leap, trusts his crew, and the crew catches him. They better catch him, or else they're going to be needing a new driver for Darlington next week. But, I mean, watch this. I'm speechless.
No, you're not.
What else can we say?
Well, what we can say is that, you know, between Talladega last week, what a great race, and Richmond, 2 great racetracks, but Richmond, man, tire marks on the cars, a lot of passing for the lead, whether it would be Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch. Kurt Busch was up in there mixing it up. You know, the guys rallying, we'll talk about it later, but the 31 getting in an accident, all these guys rallying to get back top 10s. How about Tony Stewart second? How about Ryan Newman fourth? What a great event. I mean, just absolutely side-by-side racing. That's the great thing about Richmond. Kyle Busch prevails. They make the right adjustments. That's what I like about Richmond.
And there's
you can make these adjustments. Coach has got to be proud of this guy. And, you know, the end result is that when the time come down to it, the best team won this race.
And one thing I would like to add, every week we hear people griping and moaning, oh, the races aren't no good. I agree with Spence. Between last week and this week, what do you have to complain about, race fans? Our ratings should be through the roof. Spence, like you say, a caution every 10 laps, tied for a record amount of cautions, and donut marks and wrecking and spinning out and used tires and new tires. It had the storyline.
All the best of a Saturday night shootout under the lights in the capital of Virginia. We'll have much more on this race when we come back. And Kyle Busch back in Victory Lane again, and a very trusting rear leap. I hope Spencer never did that.
NASCAR Victory Lane is presented by Travelodge, Recreate, Hibernate, and brought to you in part by the new Kentucky Grilled Chicken. taste the unfried side of KFC.
Back here in Victory Lane at the Richmond International Raceway, and Kyle Busch, you see the donuts on the side of that car. The 18 is still intact, and intact well enough to bring this car back to Victory Lane. Welcome back to Speed, everybody. You know, there has been 106 Cup races here at this very historic racetrack, but Kyle Busch seems as if he was owed a victory because he was so close so many times. We saw some fantastic racing tonight, and we got the entire 400 laps in around the raindrops. Let's take a look at how this thing unfolded as we look at the first 150 laps. Brian Vickers is a great qualifier on this racetrack and a two-time winner of this race, Jeff Gordon. Those were the two guys on the front row who led us to the green flag.
And right away, it's like both of them are trying to get this lead and lead the laps, you know, and Brian Vickers finally prevails. But look at Gordon. He's hanging strong, Spence.
Three wide racing there, Kenny. There's Stremme and Boyer and the 82 is Scott Speed, so we can get three wide racing here, but boy, it is very tight, guys.
Another team on the verge of breaking through. Brian Vickers in the number 83 does battle early with Jeff Gordon, but you know what? Jeff Gordon kind of makes it look easy, but we know it is not easy.
Vickers comes back to finish 15th. He struggled tonight. This was the best he run, but look at this. Kurt Busch again, everybody says, why is he the points leader? Well, here's why.
But Kenny, he never led a lap under green conditions, which was really funny because he had such a strong car. It's a car that he won with, that he ran in Phoenix, ran strong with. But you know, he was there all night long, but never could get that car fine-tuned enough to really battle his brother for the win.
If anybody wants to win at this racetrack, it's Chesterfield, Virginia's Denny Hamlin. Just a few short years ago, he was watching races at this track from the grandstand. Now he's battling a four-time champion on the racetrack, and Denny Hamlin would stick his nose out there and lead the most laps tonight.
And at this point, Johnny, you're saying that car's sticking on the bottom of the racetrack, Kenny. You know that's strong when you can do that here at Richmond.
Here we go.
Very strong cars, and this one not so strong at this time, the 41 of Jeremy Mayfield.
Jeremy Mayfield got into the wall on the back straightaway the lap before and inevitably flattened the right side tire, and he ends up seeing, I guess, the end of it.
Now, we had to see the art of the restart here tonight because we had so many caution flags waving, but all together in a short track, these were pretty clean.
They really were good restarts. You know, I didn't see a whole lot of accordion effect here. Guys respect one another. Now, fans, that's the inside row is one lap down, so they're vying to get back on the lead lap.
More than 50% of the time that Denny Hamlin's run at this racetrack, he's finished in the top 5. It seems like he, too, is owed a win at this track, and here he goes to the front again.
You know what is a shame? Denny doesn't even get a top 10 tonight, but right now you're saying Denny's going to win this race. There's Richard Childress Racing, Clint Boyer. They did some pit strategy, got him out in the lead, but everybody starts going by him. Now listen, this was a tough night for Casey Kane. I mean, he was involved in about 3 caution flags, and wow, I mean, he's seen it all tonight.
I just really believe that there's something wrong with this Gillette Everham race team, mostly Gillette race team right now. They got to do some soul searching because none of their cars, they've worked hard on them all night long, but none of those cars have been a factor like we would have expected. Casey Kane, no help, just spins out by himself. Casey Kane's too good a race car driver to do that, Kenny, by himself.
And let's remember, Casey Kane is the guy that led this series in victories just 2 short years ago.
Yeah, and their engineers have got to do something. But look at this 18. They come off of pit road, a fight for the lead off of pit road. Denny Hamlin gets it. And the fans love these races off of pit road. Boy, they erupt when they get their guy out front.
And so often in Sprint Cup competition, it is just not fair, but sometimes it's a fact of life. The driver who leads the most laps does not go on to win the race. There's Kyle Busch hoisting another trophy. We'll be back to show you exactly how he did it in a moment. Steve Burns, Michael Waltrip, and Chad Knaus will break down the race from Richmond Monday on This Week in NASCAR. Plus, you don't want to miss the best scanner from Richmond in the weekly Radioactive feature. We'll show you things you haven't seen or heard this week in NASCAR, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. Now, we left this race in Richmond off with 150 laps done, and Denny Hamlin seemingly having the toughest car, but he's being chased by some very great cars, including teammate Kyle Busch.
And what we see here is Biff on the inside and then those 7 of Mears. These guys put fresh tires on, and Denny and And Kyle and Kurt decided they were going to stay out at this time. There's only like 15 laps on their tires at this juncture, so that's what makes some of those lap cars look so strong.
And that's one of the great things about short track racing is the strategy that goes on to Roush Fenway cars.
Now, you know what was incredible about this wreck? Looks here. The 12, David Stremme, gets into the 99. Wow, just misses David Reagan, who right passes him. And here comes the 26. Now, the 26 and the 99, some 80 to 100 laps later, are running second and third. So this was merely cosmetics, my friend.
Yeah, collateral damage, if you will. And they battled back, but more trouble for another Roush Fenway driver, Matt Kenseth. 12 again, and 17 gets up in the ball.
3-wide racing, and you know, I heard Darrell Walter tonight say 3-wide racing is not a good position to be here.
You don't see this too often, especially from a guy like Jimmy Johnson.
I would think tomorrow night or Monday night we'll find out what happened when Chad Knaus is on the show.
Yeah, if you want to find out, go there. You'll hear exactly what happened.
I think it was the brakes.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88, not his kind of night at Richmond.
3 wide, and you know, that there's really pushing the issue. Everybody respected one another there and got through this pretty good.
Now, Jimmy said a moment ago how these guys battled back throughout this race. Let's remember what happened here between the 88 and the 31. Remember that 31 of Jeff Burton from South Boston, Virginia, because he will be back in this thing before it is all said and done. Let's go in car with Dale Jr.
Can I say something, race fans? This is exactly what happened last year for the win. So Dale Jr., you know, Kyle Busch.
Over Breakin's part.
You know, now we realize, you know, the fans are saying, well, you know, Kyle Busch is not that bad of a guy because Jr. did the same thing a year later.
Now here's a guy who's not too bad. Martin Truex Jr. came out and led a lot of this race. And again, here's a team who is looking for a good result from one of these races.
And both these guys, Johnny, you know, the 1 and the 39 only put 2 tires on. Got track position here, but you know what? It started paying off. These guys only had like 20 laps on their tires. That did pay off for a while.
Boom, the bump, and then the run.
Well, you know, at this point, Brian Vickers is you know, just holding Kyle up.
Bump.
He was driving him pretty dirty, and Kyle said, I'm going to fix your ass right now. I'm going to teach you a lesson.
Come on, Spence. I like that.
All right, so the old-fashioned bump and run here at Richmond International Raceway. Usually you see that on the last lap, but take a look at the 39 of Ryan Newman. Deserves a big shout-out. 4th place finish tonight as he goes and takes the lead, leads a few laps.
And you know what I'm noticing, guys? These right sides, boy, you got to time him right. Maybe only 20 to go because he's big, heavy, new car tomorrow. They don't like just right sides only. They use all the tires on.
Don't forget about Denny Hamlin. He's not done yet, at least at this point, as he goes to the low side of Ryan Newman. He takes over the lead.
You know, Denny at this point in the race is saving his car, and his crew chief comes on and says, Denny, there's rain coming. We think we need to, if we can pick it up a little bit, we can. Well, you know what? He picks it up a little bit, takes the lead right here from Ryan Newman, and he thinks he's in great shape.
How about the Biff and Joey Logano?
Hey, you know, I mean, they're going 3 wide. You know, Joey Logano doesn't do nothing. The Biff is a victim of being on the outside, and all of a sudden he realizes, hey, I got to make a left. The corner's coming up.
And that's what happened to Joey. Didn't do nothing wrong with that deal. But here, Harvick now, he is a victim of, on the back straightaway, coming off of turn 2, he gets hit by Sam Hornish, cuts his tire down, and, you know, ruins Kevin's night. I mean, you know, Kevin was running in about 12th place right there, and in turn, by him hitting that wall, that takes his good streak running good here at Richmond.
Short track frustration, I think, is what you could call that.
Yeah, but you know what, Johnny? It is short track frustration, but boy, it was good racing. I mean, and it wasn't just the racing for the lead, Kenny. It was the racing all the way back. I mean, 10th, 12th, 15th. Guys making their laps up. I was excited about this race whole night.
So we're going to take a quick break here on Victory Lane. When we come back, we'll show you exactly how this race was won, and we'll get the big winner over here in just a few minutes as he continues to celebrate his victory at the Crown Royal presents the Russ Friedman 400. Welcome back to Richmond, everyone. If you wonder who Russ Friedman is, he's an Iraq War vet that Crown Royal selected to name this race after in honor of all military service people who are keeping us free and able to come to the racetrack and enjoy a Saturday night shootout. When we left this race, there were 100 laps left to go, and Kyle Busch, well, he had some contests behind him with a lot of great drivers trying to take it over, but you know what? He was making it look easy, and it's not easy.
He did, Johnny, but I'm going to tell you what, now we see another player coming back into the picture here, Jeff Gordon. You know, there's David Reagan in the mix. A lot of guys, Kenny, starting to mix it up with less than 100 to go now.
And we never knew who was really the best except for Denny Hamlin at one time because it was a big tire game. 4 tires, 2 tires. Now look at this. 77, Sam Hornish gets loose getting into the corner. and takes out our Australian friend Marcos Ambrose. But Marcos comes back to have a good run.
It's it, Kenny. He's not done for the night. 31-47. It's hard to believe, guys.
Doesn't look like that car's going to go anywhere, but Mark has certainly made it do that. More lack of real estate going on here with Mark Martin and Ryan Newman. Mark Martin gets the worst end of that.
And that was started by the 11 car, Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin didn't get into corner into turn 1 on the restart quite right, and it started an accordion effect. Mark Martin and one get tangled together there.
And a tough race for Martin Truex Jr. Again, it seems like if he didn't have leading the race, seems if he didn't have any bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all. And more trouble for Jimmy Johnson.
I watched that. Something happened to Bobby Labonte in the Ask.com car, and the 31 of Jeff Burton packs him in the rear, and all hell broke loose. You know, it was crazy.
That'll happen in big-time auto racing, and it was a drag for Jimmy Johnson because this is not the kind of night he is used to here at Richmond, because he had come in here with a bunch of wins in a row. 3 out of the last 4, as a matter of fact. Restart, and we see one of the best in the business, Jeff Gordon, pulling out front, but look who's tailing him on the right.
Yeah, there's Carl Edwards, and those guys didn't pit for tires. Busch pits for tires, and he says, guys, I got to go here, man. And he made that outside groove work all night long. And here he goes, passing Jeff Gordon for the lead on the outside, Kenny. Very bold move.
And that's what Richmond does. Everybody goes, why y'all brag on Richmond all the time? Well, because you can run 3 wide if you need to. It's hard, but the car is able to do it, and he was the best. Now, here we go. Again, we got Vickers getting into the 0-0. What a bummer.
A bummer for David Ruderman because he was running in the top 10 for most of this day, and he's in the top 10 in points, top 12 rather in points as well. And here is the battle for second. Remember, Jeff Burton had turned around earlier in the race, battled all the way up to second, but here comes Tony Stewart, the number 14.
And what we're seeing here, fans, now, these guys have fresher tires. They pit with about 30 or 40 laps earlier, got fresh tires, but Kyle Busch, where's he at? Wait a minute, that's second. Where's Kyle Busch at, Johnny?
He is way down the road. He's back in Chesterfield, Virginia, I think, at this point, as he comes around to take the checkered flag. First victory for Kyle Busch here at this Richmond International Raceway, and some celebrating going on his 24th birthday.
And you know what's interesting, fans? He has a 6.75 average here. Well, with tonight's win, that probably puts him into the top 5. And that's an 8 race that he ran, and tonight will be his 9th race. That's incredible, guys, for finishing.
And that is still a great celebration from a guy who's been to victory lane 50 times in NASCAR's top series.
And look at 2nd and 4th. Team Haas is coming.
And look at this, guys. Jeff Burton's involved in the wreck. Mark Martin's involved in the wreck. Sam Hornish.
McMurray.
Jamie McMurray. Think about that, guys. And here they rally, top 10 finishing.
We have got to give a big shout out to Casey Mears. Congratulations on your first top 10 with Richard Childress Racing.
Whoa.
And Denny Hamlin, not indicative of where he ran. 14th is not the way he ran all night long.
Listen to this. Wait a minute. Marcus Ambrose, he's in a wreck. He finishes 11th. But, Johnny, you're right. Kurt Busch and Denny Hamlin, I can't believe that they did not finish in the top 10 as strong as they were.
And a leader for several laps of this race, Martin Truex Jr. finishes 22nd, Carl Edwards 26th.
And race fans, we have troubles in River City. Dale Earnhardt Jr. picked to win this race. We'll find out what happened maybe next week, but he was down a lap running 30th all night.
Scott Speed, Kevin Harvick, Jeremy Mayfield, all guys who got in trouble. Jimmy Johnson, 36th.
Uncharacteristic there of that car. You know, David Gilliland, Joe Nemechek, these guys here were just out early in the race and not a factor at all.
Raines, Riggs, and Blaney round out our field of 43. Let's take a look at the points now as they run after 10 of the 36 races. Jeff Gordon was able to take the lead back from Kurt Busch, came in 5 points down, so mathematically picked up 15 there.
Tony Stewart gained a bunch there, actually, 10 points, and puts him solidly in third.
And what finally sticks out at me is Casey Kane no longer in the top 15 with a rough night tonight.
So Matt Kent's the last one in the chase, if you will, right now. Let's take a look at our Protecting the Win segment of the show as Kyle Busch goes high around Jeff Gordon and makes a pass and simply never looks back. When we come back, we'll talk to the birthday boy, the big winner, Kyle Busch. Welcome back to Victory Lane, everyone, where Kyle Busch had a little bit of trouble with the champagne bottle again, but that is the only thing that went remotely wrong for Kyle Busch this entire week. It seemed like everything you got in this week, you won in. What a week. What a happy birthday.
Well,
way to go, man.
Yeah, that's tradition, by the way.
So, we'll work with you on that a little bit. We have experience.
Yeah, we can fix that. But, man, that's it's pretty awesome this weekend was for sure. You know, you mentioned 3 wins all Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it's pretty cool, you know, and being here on Saturday night, I wish there was a football game tomorrow night. You know, people could go out and buy their combos, especially the new flavors, zesty salsa.
They can still buy them tomorrow.
They could, yeah. I mean, football season, that's just, yeah. I mean, I love eating these things with football games. They're the best.
I have a very, very serious
Whoa, wait
question.
a minute. What's this hat you got on? You ain't got nothing on me. Look at this.
What do you got, Spence? Oh, you're the king. You're the king. The Crown
Royal.
If only you could get the hat off the pillow.
Okay.
All right, guys, back to Kyle here, okay?
I agree. He's hot.
We're having a good time with this because the cat wins so much. Okay, Kyle, 24 years old, 50 wins. You're young. Most people say, oh, here, little kid, have my trophy. Do you have all 50 trophies?
I have all 50 big league trophies, yeah. I some late model trophies and stuff that I've gotten over the years, and legend car stuff I've given away to some kids and stuff that have been my fans and my followers. So I do have all my big nationwide Craftsman truck, which now is
Camping World.
Camping World.
Yeah, they changed.
That's okay, man. You're excited. He's excited.
Camping World and Sprint Cup victory trophies. So yeah, it's pretty cool to have all those in my trophy room.
You know, Kyle, what's interesting, you're running up front all night. Denny, yourself, and Jeff. What were you worried about? I shouldn't say worried, but what were you concerned about at the end? You know, you knew these guys had all new tires. You made a daring move. You get around Gordon. What was going through your mind in the last 50 laps there?
Caution. No caution. Just wanted to go straight green the rest of the way. You know, I didn't want to have to deal with a caution. And with the 14 and the 31 behind us, I believe they took tires. I'm not sure about the 39. I think the 5 did too. So, you know, all those guys, if they would have gotten behind us on a restart, they would have probably eaten us up. So, and we knew that was going to happen. But, I mean, I was just praying. I was just like, get out front, get gone. No cautions. Let's just go to the end. I couldn't drive hard enough to get to that checker flag. I wanted to see that thing. I didn't want to see a yellow.
Hey, Kyle, sometimes people accuse some of your colleagues of not quite appreciating a win so much because they're there so much. You've been in victory lane in the top 3 series more than just about anybody now, yet you still seem to relish a win, each one as much as the last one.
Oh, for sure, man. You never know when your next one's going to be, if ever. So you always got to cherish them all. And for me to come out here with my team, you know, the best part about it is you do it as a team. You know, you win these things as a team. And tonight, Steve Addington made a great race call to come in and get our 4 tires when we came in, and then to get out and stay out the rest of the way. And so these guys had flawless stops all day on pit road. They really made the race come to us, and so we were just able to battle it out there with Jeff Gordon and not have to worry about anybody else really. And like you said, man, you just got to cherish all these things, and especially on my birthday, this is pretty cool. This is 2 big wins this year, Vegas and here, and so these guys really know what it means to me, and they really enjoy it as well.
I've picked you for the All-Star race. I saw how dominant you were.
When did you do that?
You're not allowed to do that yet.
I am picking it a couple weeks ago. How big is
are you down? How low are you on the totem pole?
Oh, he's way down. He's like 400 back, more than 400 back.
I took your brother
Could
tonight.
be eliminated.
He's running good and he drops back. But seriously, this All-Star race, it's big. And you had an awesome car last year and had a little problem underneath the hood. How excited are you about going to Charlotte for the All-Star race?
Well, you're getting a little premature there. We got one more week before that, but I'm excited. I love the All-Star race. You know, it's a fun race, it's a great race. The style of it's fun. I never know what's going to happen during a race or what the rules are because you don't ever know. They change them so much. But we'll get there this time around, learn the rules, and figure out what to do and how to get around them and make your race car stay up front all night. But like you said, last year we had a great car, man. That thing was fast. It was humming down the straightaways too, and unfortunately, that humming turned into a grinding and didn't quite last all the way.
I'll take bets. Anybody want to challenge me? I got the 18.
And you are a gambler. But, hey, listen, something I seen you do the last 2 nights, and, you know, okay, everybody buy combos.
Oh, yeah, they're good.
Anyway, you did something last night and tonight to win, and that was jumping to the outside. Why were you so much stronger than everybody on the outside? Just your God-given ability? You mean both nights, outside?
Yeah, you just got to put it up there. There in the beginning of the race, you know, everybody kind of flowed to the bottom, and I just stayed up top and kept digging up on the high side. Here, you know, Jeff jumbled up the restart a little bit, and I got to the outside of Carl getting into 1 there. I knew it was 3 wide, and I was like, man, I'm just going for it here. And then Jeff squeezed me off here and just kind of kept battling down the back straightaway, waited to get in line with Jeff. You know, the 43, I think, had fresher tires, so he got through. I thought about it, and I was like, I better not. and make it 3 wide there, and I just fell back in line behind the 24 and waited for my turn.
Call experience.
Yep.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Way to go,
A couple years ago, I would have wadded it up.
Hey, you've added another racetrack to your list of tracks you've won on in
That's
the Cup
awesome
Series.
too, yep.
Way to go. Good job.
15, right?
Yep. Keep up the good work.
All right, cool.
All right,
Opposite
that's
of
15.
51.
Good.
Exactly. As we say goodbye to Kyle Busch, the Prilosec OTC Barbecue Shootout Series was going on this weekend in Richmond. From amateurs to professionals, the competition was on fire. Let's see what Rutledge Wood has been up to with the winners.
All right, fellas, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Just like there's a winner on Victory Lane, there's another one tonight, and that's the best pitmaster here for the fan choice at the Prilosec OTC Barbecue Shootout Series. I can't wait to find out who it is. Let's go.
And the winner of the Richmond event by only 42 votes, Richmond's very own Mr. Tuffy Stone.
You know when you see a trophy this big, it's serious stuff. And this trophy is for the Prilosec OTC Barbecue Shootout Series fan favorite, which is our man Tuffy Stone of Virginia native, lives right down the road. Tuffy, how'd you do it?
You know, it was the fans. It was a close finish. It was, you know, thousands of votes went in. It was nerve-wracking. We were watching. We could see them putting the colored tickets in all weekend. You'd see your color, then you'd see Mike's color, and you'd see Leanne's color, and it was a close one. So when it got down to the final there, I was biting my nails.
So Tuffy, your restaurant's name is Q. Are you guys gonna have to put in a section in the roof to get this trophy inside?
We're gonna have to knock out a door, probably a wall. You know, can you help me get it in there?
I can try. I don't know where you would put such a big trophy. Here's my question. Speaking of big, how are you around barbecue all day long, every day, and yet you're the smallest guy out here?
Well, you know, they always say never trust a skinny cook, but, you know, I move fast and eat very little.
Big congrats to Tuffy and the whole Cool Smoke team. This trophy, amazingly big, and it might even be bigger than the Cup trophy, but we won't tell anybody inside.
The Prilosec OTC Barbecue Shootout Series is proud to support the NASCAR Foundation. For more on how you can get involved, visit NASCAR.com/foundation. And when we come back to the Richmond International Raceway, we'll hear from more of the drivers that figured in to this race tonight. Scene Daily and SpeedTV.com have teamed up to form the most powerful online news in NASCAR. Visit SpeedTV.com now for in-depth analysis, breaking news, and more. And here's some breaking news for you. Tony Stewart is getting closer and closer to the lead in the championship chase here in the Sprint Cup Series. Another great finish for the number 14 and Senior Smoke. Let's go to Bob Dillner.
A lot of fun watching Tony Stewart this year run his own car here in the Cup Series. Tony, another top 5 for you. And the big thing is, where'd you come from at the end of the race?
4 tires, that's where I came from. Just, you know, we got the luxury of coming in with about 50 to go and getting 4 stickers. And the guys had an awesome stop that time, too. They had really good stops all night. Really proud of our pit crew and you know, proud of Ryan and his guys. But, you know, we had the advantage of having 4 tires that he didn't.
Kind of burn them up a little bit going through because it seemed like you never quite could close the gap on Kyle.
Yeah, you know, part of it is we had to fight our way through, and then we had to fight with Jeff Burton. But you know, that's a fun fight with him. It's you know, it's one of the guys you trust out there, and there were a lot of guys out there that I lost a lot of respect for tonight watching what they were doing behind the wheel. So the good thing is we were around somebody that we trusted at the end.
What do you think about having 2 cars in the top 5? Not bad.
Pretty excited about that. I'm really proud of everybody at Stewart-Haas and especially everybody on the U.S. Army team and Old Spice Office Depot team. Just I can't wait to get to the shop Monday and see the smiles on their faces. And they've been working hard. I mean, this is a process that we just continue to grow and build. And you know, thanks to you know, Hendrick Motorsports and Hendrick Chassis and Engines and all the guys that are turning our Mac tools every week. I mean, it's coming together one piece at a time.
Stewart, 3rd in points.
Well, you know, this was a big upset. I mean, he should have never left Joe Gibbs racing and I mean, everything under the sun. Well, you know what, fans? He done the right thing. He looked for the future. He goes into the organization. Mr. Haas gives him part of that race team. He has made a gigantic leaps and bounds with that organization. You see it on his face. You hear him bragging about Ryan Newman. Good friends, associated with Hendrick. It's just really, really good for the sport to see this team be this successful. Mr. Haas included in this. I applaud him. Tony, keep it up. You're not far from winning. Plus, you're like 39 points out of the chase. Who would ever think that?
39 points out of the championship.
Out of the championship lead.
Yeah, but I mean,
Thank you,
I have to tell you, this is a rare moment. I agree with everything Jimmy Spencer said. I mean, and I never could understand everybody going, oh, I don't know, how is he going to run? I'm like, hello. He's got Hendrick Motors, Hendrick Cars, Hendrick's crew chief, Darian Grubb. I mean, so where
and a great driver.
Yeah, I mean,
2 great drivers.
You're right.
Where did anybody think this was going to be difficult? I mean, you're talking, the best in the business signing up, saying, Tony, I want to work for you.
And
so
the smile on his face. The smile on his face was awesome. And
he shaved. It looked like he's all shaved.
It's awesome. We love it.
An hour ago.
Yeah, he's good for the sport.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And congratulations to Tony Stewart and Stewart-Haas Motorsports for an excellent night as they were able to get 2 cars into the top 5. Well, as we take another break here on NASCAR Victory Lane from the Richmond International Raceway, we want to remind you that next Friday on Speed, NASCAR drives into Darlington. Coverage kicks off with NASCAR Sprint Cup practice at noon Eastern, and at 11 p.m. it's the ultimate Friday night house party, NASCAR Trackside. NASCAR on Speed, be there, presented by Advance Auto Parts. The Catch the Race, Catch the Cash All-Star Sweepstakes is going on now on Speed. Just answer this question by logging on to speedtv.com, and you could qualify to win today's prize. And don't forget, watch the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race on May 16th at 7 p.m. for your chance to win $25 grand in cold hard cash. Log on to speedtv.com today and register for the Catch the Race, Catch the Cash All-Star Sweepstakes. Well, you could say that Stewart-Haas won a little bit of a sweepstakes of their own tonight. Both cars in the top 5, and now both cars in championship contention. Let's go back to Bob Dillner.
Tonight seemed like a boxing match and a strategy game all in one. Ryan Newman, a good top 5 for you, but a little bit of both. A fight out there and also a lot of strategy.
Well, it was. I mean, we had the leader's strategy and the winner's strategy, I should say. But bottom line was we got choked up there in a restart. I turned a 5 round, lost 4 spots, and those are the 4 spots we needed to get the U.S. Army Chevrolet back in victory lane. So a great effort. Tony Stewart and everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing have done a great job to finish 2 cars in the top 5. That's the first for us, and hopefully it's the first of many.
A great job by you guys, especially lately. This team really picking up the pace. Why is it finally the chemistry is there at this point of the season, Ryan?
I think our short track program is really strong, so that definitely helps. But man, that's the first time for me, 2 top 5s in a long time, 2 top 5s in a row in a long time. So I'm really happy about that. These guys are doing a great job. We a little off on our pit stops today, but it wasn't what cost us the victory.
Now Ryan Newman's in the top 10 in points.
It was not long ago. We watched Ryan Newman have a wreck at Daytona. We seen him had troubles, and we even heard one of his car owners, Tony Stewart, going, we just got to get Ryan some luck. But listen, 10th in the points? Are you kidding me? This Army team is out of hand right now. And one thing that I like is what he said. His first time this year, 2 top 5s in a row. This is a guy that's got 40-something poles, teens of wins. And so, I mean, hey, he's on a roll.
No question about that. Ryan Newman is on a roll right now, but that team altogether has to feel, what Tony said, he cannot wait to go back Monday to the shop and see the looks on the guys' faces because they've been working so hard. You guys know what that feels like. When you're on a roll, especially with both your teams, it's much easier to wake up at 6 a.m. after a race and go into the shop.
Well, and I think the biggest reason, Kenny brings a great point up, though, earlier when we talked about Tony, is the Hendrick. They're 3 miles down the road is Hendrick. Now, you have to realize the championships and the wins and everything, and that's where this whole thing is fed from. So it was a matter of Tony and Ryan having all this support from the Hendrick group with Haas, and Hendrick are good friends, fans. So, that's only natural. And the reason that I think the team is so successful is they are relying on Hendrick, and Hendrick is sharing the information. We saw last week a Hendrick car win with Brad Keselowski, Talladega. So, Kenny, the thing is, it's obvious that if you're going to get in this sport, you're going to have to side with somebody like that to be successful, and they've done it.
And you know what? This team is not dumb. I mean, Gene Haas says, hey, Tony Stewart, come on over here. And we keep talking about Stewart-Haas Racing tonight. Tony Stewart, Ryan Newman. Why? Well, because, they're rolling now, race fans. Tony Stewart only 39 points out of the championship lead. Ryan Newman from last at Daytona all the way to 10th in the points. And, how much smarts does it take to go, hey, we're going to put a team together. Let's go get Hendrick Motors. Oh, let's go get Hendrick's crew chief. Let's go get Hendrick Cars. And now you got great talent and everybody put together. Like you said, Spence, the car that won the race last week, Brad Keselowski, Hendrick Motor, Hendrick Chassis.
Well, the thing is, also, fans, is that I said this on the Home Depot show that Mr. Haas will be known as one of the smartest car owners in the sport in years, simply from the standpoint he was willing to relinquish some ownership to get where he is. Great move by Mr. Haas.
Hey, and I know a lady that if she would have relinquished a little bit of ownership, she'd probably be sitting right there too.
Hey, that's a whole other story.
You
though.
said
Sorry, sorry.
You said.
Here's a story that Tony Stewart fans will like to hear because he has proven himself year after year to be an all-star. But it was back in 1999. He was contending for the win in the all-star race, but he was outdueled by Texas' Terry Labonte.
The 15th running of the Winston as the flashbulbs illuminate the Carolina night.
I was running third, and I think it was between Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon, where they were really the two guys that had pretty much dominated the first two segments there.
Who does what? Do you take 2 tires, 4 tires? What's the gamble?
We decided before the race ever started we were going to come in the last 10 laps put on 4 tires. Our car was just a whole lot better on 4 tires than 2 tires, and those guys were trying to race each other off pit road, and so they both got 2 tires, and so we got 4 tires and drove by them and won the race, and the call in the pits for us paid off.
Here comes Terry Labonte on the outside of Tony Stewart down into turn 3. The winner in 1988 trying to do it again in 99. Terry Labonte takes the lead.
It was pretty cool to be able to win the thing again.
Terry Labonte wins. Second place, Tony Stewart.
Celebrating 25 years of All-Star memories. Don't miss the NASCAR Sprint All-Star Race on Speed, Saturday, May 16th, 7 p.m. Eastern. NASCAR on Speed. Be there.
As we just mentioned moments ago, NASCAR's Sprint All-Star Race is Saturday, May 16th from the Lowe's Motor Speedway, and it's on Speed. It's the most spectacular All-Star event in all of sports for unbelievably low prices. Tickets start at just $25. Call 800-455-FANS or go online.
NASCAR Victory Lane is presented by Travelodge, Recreate, Hibernate, and brought to you in part by the new Kentucky Grilled Chicken. Taste the unfried side of KFC.
Steve Burns, Michael Waltrip, and Chad Knaus will break down the race from Richmond Monday on This Week in NASCAR. Plus, you don't want to miss the best scanner sound from Richmond in the weekly Radioactive feature. We'll show you things you haven't seen or heard This Week in NASCAR, Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. Well, there are several drivers considered hometown favorites around here, Denny Hamlin being one of them, Jeff Burton being another who grew up in South Boston just down the road. And while Denny Hamlin was not able to battle back in the top 10, Jeff Burton was able to make it back for another top 5 finish, and he spoke with Bob Dillner after the race.
Never say die. That was the theme of the 31 bunch here tonight at Richmond. An eventful evening, wouldn't you say?
I'd say at the least. We've had a few eventful weekends this year, but we didn't have a third place car tonight, but we had a great call there at the end. Scott made a great call. We got one run, we got really good. When Junior and I got together and backed the car in the wall, the run after that it took off. I mean, it was really fast, and then the next run it wasn't so good. And then there at the end, obviously we had tires, but still it was probably better than we had been most of the night. So kept making the car better during the night, and that's what we need to be able to do.
You're really willing it there, coming through the field and then battling with Tony Stewart there. A lot of fun?
It was a lot of fun. It was let me tell you something, man. Racing is so close, and it's so. If people don't like that, they just need to go do something else. I mean, that's as hard as you can race, and a lot, smoke flying and all kinds of stuff going on. And that was, that's all I had. If they need more from me, they're not going to get it, because I just, that's just as hard as we can go. And everybody was racing hard. That's why we saw the action that we saw. But that's what Richmond's all about.
Jeff, thank you so much. And tell you what, it was a lot of fun watching Jeff Burton tonight. He's now up to 7th in points.
I love the way Jeff Burton put that. That's all we have. That's all we can give him. We saw it all night long from a lot of drivers. Hard racing tonight at Richmond. And, as Jimmy likes to say, the cream rises to the top.
Well, you know what? I'd like to defend Jeff Burton from one fact. This has been a very negative year. All we hear constantly is our race is not good, this, that. And that's what Jeff Burton, that was the message that he was sending to a lot of the people that are very negative. People I always say are negative by nature. They want to be mean right away. What Jeff Burton's telling you all is, look, if you don't like this racing here at Richmond, I don't know what to tell you. And he's saying, this is all I have. I drove my heart out. I was side by side all night long. Dale Jr. spun me out. I'm backed in the wall. I mean, listen, race fans, 2 great weekends. Let's talk positive. It's all good right now.
And well, the thing that I also like about that interview is that he said he didn't have the best car. He didn't even have the 3rd best car, but they made adjustments. They never give up. What this car has done, this car has allowed a lot of things to change in our sport. You're seeing more and more gutsy calls, 2-tire calls. You know, look at this. He gets backed in the wall here, and he says his car actually becomes better after that. The thing is, fans, is that to me, the thing that I like about this car is that if you see what happened to Denny Hamlin tonight, the pit crew messes up, puts him back in the pack. He can never be a factor again. So the thing I guess I'm getting at is this car is involving more than just the driver anymore. Now it's the whole team making the right calls to get these top 5 finishes and eventually win races.
And did you see how messed up Marcus Ambrose's car was on that wreck?
Oh.
He ended up coming back for a great finish as well. 11th.
And Spence, that's another thing I like about this car. You know, and Darrell Waltrip keeps pointing it out on Fox, is that, man, you could body slam this thing, and, you know, because of the foam padding on the driver's side, the car hits the foam padding, keeps a lot of the hard bang off the tires. I mean, these guys are beating the heck out of these cars and going on and racing like nothing ever happened. That's good racing.
Yeah, want to hit on what Jimmy Spencer said just a moment ago again, because it was a very crucial part in this race. Kyle Busch came up here and told us how important teamwork is. Now look at this tiny little mistake. And I mean, this is a tiny little mistake.
It is.
Front tire changer, gets a tire on, whoop. Don't got a lug nut. Got to pick it up. Now I got to pick it up again.
2.
Now look at the
7
cars.
positions.
And
7
here
positions.
comes the watch this, fans. Here comes the cars. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is how close this is. But
6 and 7 positions on the racetrack for Denny Hamlin, was never able to recover.
Hey, next week, the lady in black.
We're going to Darlington, where we're going to see a lot of the same stuff. We're going to see tires drop off. We're going to see a very, very crucial pit stops throughout.
The Southern 500.
Yes, it's back to the Southern 500. When they said we're going to rename this the Southern 500, I went, ooh, and all of a sudden I had goosebumps. I was like, Dale Earnhardt, man, Harry Gant, yes. Where's Cale Yarborough? Bring it
More
on.
Saturday night racing under the lights, man.
Cale took Joey Logano for a ride around, a little education, and who better than Cale? Let's face the success Cale's had at Darlington, like 5 or 6 wins, so I can't wait. Darlington,
yeah,
I love
60 years of racing down there, some great finishes, one of the most historical racetracks we go to anywhere, and certainly a lot of history here at Richmond. Race number 106 at this racing facility was won by Kyle Busch, his first win ever at this track. Want to thank everybody at Richmond for being so hospitable to us. So now let's take a look in the rearview mirror.
Just want to let you know one thing. I ain't as good as I once was, and I'm as good once as I ever was.
Scratch that.
I don't know what just happened, but that was awesome.
Good.
I hope it dries up.
Want to say a special thanks to all the fans here at Richmond who braved the rain and came out. Don't give up your toolbox.
Alluded on the show earlier.
It's Richmond, baby.
It's the greatest short track that was ever built.
Keselowski, he knows time's running out here.
Looks like Brad just pushed the issue. Burt did not see that coming at all.
Back it down, back it down.
This is short track racing at its finest.
Every week it's something.
1, 2, 3.
You gotta love short track racing. It's fast and it's furious.
And let's head over to Johnny.
Light the candles and cut the cake.
Here he is, celebrating in victory lane once again. Congratulations, way to go.
A couple years ago, I would have wadded it up.